All right, so I wanted to share this heartwarming story of a man named Earl Crawley. His story is quite old actually, but it popped up on my Instagram, and I saw some concerning, disappointing, frustrating comments underneath the story. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Earl Crawley is or was a parking attendant for, I think, like 40 years. They'll explain it here in the video. Who never made more than $20,000 a year, but was able to build up a $500,000 retirement portfolio and a paid off house. And I think that this is a great example of what just doing the basics, regardless of your current income situation, what doing the basics can still get you later on in life. A great example. So if you're tuning in now and you're getting ready to hit the skip button because it's not one of the typical videos that I share, you need to stop and take a few minutes to watch this and be inspired. All right. So y'all, let me know what you think. I'm going to share some of the comments. I think there's some on this video as well. I'm going to share some of the negative stuff that I saw afterwards and kind of dive in on that, because people out here are ignorant and just plain old dumb when they can see negative out of this. All right, so y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, it's Ricky Rich of Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.
Not long ago, I met Earl Crawley.
Hey, how you doing?
But everyone here calls him Mr. Earl.
Yeah, we can talk about some finances.
He's worked as an attendant at this parking lot in Baltimore for 44 years.
So you really think it's going to improve the gas?
Funny thing, though, everyone was asking Mr. Earl about money.
Nickel and dime, nickel and dime.
That's right. Is that booth his pulpit where he's preaching the gospel of investing?
Sure is. He makes my day every time I see him.
Oh, come on now, seriously. Investing?
How you like that gold now?
670.
Earl told me he's never made more than $12 an hour, never earned more than $20,000 a year.
How you doing?
So how could he know something about corporate profits?
Gonna get you.
I had to pry.
So, Earl, what's your net worth?
$500,000.
$500,000?
Yeah,
From working here?
working here.
That's amazing.
A last statement.
And there it is in his statements, over $500,000 net worth on a parking lot wage. Now Mr. Earl had my full attention. How did he do it?
Stop working so hard and let the money work for you.
Earl's first lesson came at age 13. His mother had him working the fruit stalls to help pay the family bills. He got to keep just a few quarters for himself.
From the time my mother started taking my money that I earned at Lexington Market, that it wasn't money just to be thrown away. It was there to be used.
Economics aside, Earl had another obstacle to overcome. He tells me he's dyslexic. Back in the 50s, that meant settling for a life of low-wage manual labor jobs. So Earl figured he'd better sock away what little money he was making. It was just $1 here and $1 there, starting with savings stamps, and that led to savings bonds. At 26, he got married, and by the late 60s, Earl was feeding 3 children on a meager $80 a week.
It was tough, but because we had to sacrifice a lot.
And the budget only got tighter when Earl and Beverly opted to send their kids to Catholic school instead of public school, which was free. Earl took extra jobs to pay the tuition, and you better believe he made every penny count.
Elementary school, I would ask for lunch money, and he would give me $1, and lunch was 85 cents, and he would reply before I walked out the door, "I want my change."
As the years rolled by, Earl kept saving what seemed like meaningless amounts. He started investing $25 each month into a mutual fund and did that consistently for 15 years. By the late 70s, his net worth was $25,000.
Later, as the children got older, he decided to play the stock market. And he bought one share, and, well, the rest is history.
He bought stock in blue chips like IBM and Coca-Cola that paid dividends and...
Instead of taking the dividends and pocketing it, let it set or let it reinvest itself, and it increased my shares. And the more shares I had, the more dividend I had. Eventually, the more money I have down the road.
So where did the so-called slow learner learn so much about mutual funds and blue chips and dividend reinvestment plans?
We're going to split this year.
It all comes back to that parking lot. And this is my favorite part of Earl's story. You see, his lot is smack dab in the middle of a financial district where he picked the brains of brokers and bankers and lawyers for their financial advice.
What's going on? You got any advice for me today in the markets?
No, I'm just trying to find out something from you.
Oh, all right.
Talk to everybody and listen to advice that everybody give me and take it from there.
Earl, why don't we take...
Look, if that ain't the best part of the story right there, just sitting there being a fly on the wall, being nice to the folks that are coming out making these big deals and giving him free game and him going back and applying it. I like, again, how can you hate on this story?
To advice that everybody give me and take it from there.
Earl, why don't we take a look at what you've got in the portfolio now? And see.
Earl had trouble reading, so instead, he listened. He believed in the power of compound interest and stocks for the long haul, which brings us back to the present. Today, Earl's stock portfolio alone is worth more than $500,000. And yes, his house is paid for. And no, he doesn't carry any credit card debt.
He's somebody to emulate, not only as an investor, but as an individual, and how to live your life and make the best of what the Lord gave you.
Now, Earl is paying it forward.
Here comes Brenda.
He's gifting shares from his portfolio to people like Brenda Thomas, who never dreamed they could have enough money to invest.
And that was Coca-Cola.
Because you told me to reinvest my dividends, I now have 77 shares.
I'm excited about it. I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for Mr. Earl. And he made it so easy.
If you don't have the money for the
And
whole
not
share,
only is he gifting shares to a local church, he's starting an investment club there to get everyone investing.
Our goal is every member of the church will own stock. And then they're going to transfer into their family members. So starting here, it's just going to blow up.
It makes me feel good to see someone actually going on and took my advice and went on and did it. That's really a good feeling.
So from his little green shack, Earl is helping others and preaching the gospel of investments. And at the end of my day with Mr. Earl, he told me his good fortune happened not in spite of, but because of his disability.
I always used to say that I must have been the dumbest thing in school or the dumbest thing couldn't learn, but God gave me the gift to listen and act behind it, and it's one of the best things ever happened to me.
Look, like I said, completely 100% wholesome story, inspiring story. Like it's the fact I didn't even know he had a disability. It said earlier on in the video he was dyslexic. So and that's what kind of prevented him from being able to get, especially back in the 60s, right? Like getting even a decent wage job as a black man was hard enough, and then as a black man with a disability and having trouble reading is even hard enough. So it's like you got this man, dyslexic, parking attendant, never made more than $12 an hour, $20,000 a year, was able to do this. and we still have people to this day, right? Gen Z and millennial that in my opinion are on track to, by his age, still not have that much. I would even argue still not have that much in today's dollars. To let you, this video is about 10 years old. I did the math real quick, counting for, inflation and the weakening of the dollar. $500,000 from 10 years, 2014 to 2024, would be worth $665,000 today. Meaning, if he were to have just held on to that money and not reinvested anything, it'd be worth almost $700,000 today. And I don't think that 25 years, 30 years from now, millennials and older Gen Zs, especially the ones that are leaving negative comments on videos like these, I don't think they will even have 700,000, close to $1 million in assets, because his investments would be worth, like I said, close to 700,000, and he has a fully paid for house. So his net worth today, they didn't say how much his house is worth, but I'm sure his net worth today, all things being equal, would be close to $1 million. And the track record that I see with the generations that I'm around, again, Gen Z and millennials, in 25 to 30 years would still not have $1 million. So why do I see comments like, let me see. I don't know if I find any on here. It looks like everybody on here is actually pretty cool. Yeah, everybody on this video is actually pretty cool. On the Instagram video that I saw, there were a lot of people complaining about how he is over 70 years old and quote unquote only has $500,000 in a paid for house. And we're trying to say that it was sad that someone can work for so long and that's all they have. Now, to their point, I don't like the fact that more often than not, African Americans, and especially African American males, tend to have to work these types of jobs really to the day that they die. I don't like that idea, and I don't think that that's an idea that we need to be promoting as the end all be all, right? But from a basic standpoint, I mean, you heard the man's story. From a basic standpoint, he only did, the basics. He got a job, he stayed out of debt, he invested, he made smart investment decisions, and not just because people were telling him. Like, he just did the basic things. You buy stocks that, you believe in, have a good track record, and most importantly, that pay dividends if you can. And you do that consistently over a long, those things you do consistently over a long period of time, and you become wealthy. Stay out of debt, invest in yourself, invest in whatever really interests you, right? Make smart investments, right? Not everybody wants to play the stock market or can play the stock market. Not everybody wants to buy a home or can buy a home, but there's something out there that you could do that acts as a typical investment vehicle. No, don't go dumping all of your hard-earned money into something new like cryptocurrency, right? You can dump a portion of it in there, but don't go all in on something that doesn't have that much of a track record. To the best of my knowledge, I think Bitcoin has only been out since like 2011 or 12 or something like that. That's not long enough of a track record to be dumping all of your hard-earned money in, right? But there's real estate, there is stocks, there's even classic cars, there's sports, sports memorabilia. There's all sorts of things. I'm not saying that these are good or bad or whatever. I'm just saying these are things with track records that people invest in. Stamps. People invest in stamps. People go out and buy stamps. Gold bars. Like there's all these things. Again, I'm not saying anything is good, bad, or whatever. I'm just saying there's a bunch of things with 50, 100-year track records that people can actually get into. And if you just stay consistent, at the very least, you end up with more money than the average person. But I guarantee you, 10 years ago, he's 70 years old. And I guarantee you his portfolio was better than 95% of the people, especially the African-American men in his age, better than 95% of the people his age. I guarantee it. I guarantee you there is a small portion of people 70 years old, 10 years ago, with roughly $1 million net worth. We'll say maybe his house at the time was worth $200,000. So $750,000 net worth at his age. I guarantee you there's not too many people that he was doing better than most people his age. And I feel like this is going to be the same moving forward. Again, 35 years from now, when us millennials get to be older, right? Just doing the basics will put us, those of us who are paying attention, from a minimal standpoint, will put us above most of the people in our age group. And this is not like some competition. It isn't, but it is, right? It's not. I'm not saying this so you can go out and try and be better than everyone else. It's just you don't want to be caught from a financial perspective and a health perspective, health and wealth perspective. You don't want to be caught below the average. The world is not going to be kind to you, especially at that age. The world is not going to be kind to you if you haven't done the work ahead of time. So to me, this was a great example. I wish I would have looked at the comments before. This is good though. This is a good thing that I don't see any of the negative comments that I was seeing when I saw it on Instagram. It's just amazing how some people can turn this into some sort of negative thing. They obviously didn't watch the video fully. But if you do, this should be inspiring. All right. So this is dope, but y'all let me know what y'all think. All right. Again, congrats to Earl Crawley. Let's give him a round of applause if I can find it. There we go. My guy Earl, wherever you are out there, congrats to you. Hopefully you're still rocking and rolling. And if not, hopefully you're able to pass all of this down, education and assets down to your family, which I'm sure he was. If that was the case. But y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, it's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.